Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609, and we are in Burnett, Texas, and I'm fixing to drive through Hamilton City Park, or whatever it is. There's a little park here on the right. But anyway, what I want to talk about this morning, since I've been looking at RVs and new RVs and stuff, just piddling around. I just left Rogers Motors walking around, but there was nobody there, so I couldn't get any prices and stuff. They don't open till 10, so I'm not going to stand there in the heat for an hour. So I thought I'd take a drive, and what we'd talk about is something somebody brought up in a comment a long time ago. They asked me about the changes that I have seen in the RV industry since I got involved around 1995, or that period. And I would say that, yeah, there's been a number of changes. Just to give you a quick example about change, I've been gone for 5 months out to New Mexico, and have recently come back to my home base here in Central Texas. And I used to go walking I still go walking in the mornings, but I used to go every now and then. I'd meet up with a group of people, 2 ladies and a guy, that were walking. Well, now, just in this short period of time, things have already changed. The guy that used to join us somehow injured himself, and he's no longer going walking. The ladies show occasionally, not like they used to every day, but that's just another one of those little changes that happens in life. But as far as the RV industry, as best I can recall, it seems like that in the 90s, mid-90s, 1990s, there were not near as many manufacturers, number one. You didn't have a lot of choices in travel trailers or motorhomes, for sure. Nothing like you have today. I mean, the variety has increased dramatically. They didn't have the little teardrops that I recall. Most of the shapes of the RVs, the travel trailers, were basically the same, that kind of shoebox looking shape, and the motorhomes were flat nosed, and that was it. And of course there were class A's and C's, B's, I don't know too much. Yeah, there was probably some road treks back then, but I don't remember seeing any of them. And but as far as most of the changes have come on the inside and some of the exterior sidings. Now they use Adzel instead of the aluminum in some cases. They use aluminum joists, or whatever you call it, instead of the wood, 2x4s and stuff. A lot of that's gone to aluminum to lighten the weight of the unit, also to give it more durability over an extended period of time when it's exposed to moisture, because the wood sucks. I mean, because I had one that was all wood in the walls, and it all rotted out. It was crap. As far as the interior, the TVs have gotten bigger, much bigger, and they've added more TV. Slide outs back in the 90s, I don't remember seeing many of those. Maybe they were, I just didn't see them. But now, it's nothing to see a fifth wheel with 4 pop-outs, slide outs, and a travel trailer with 1, 2, or 3. So, it's those changes. And then as far as others, I don't recall RVs having sound systems with exterior speakers in the 90s. They may have, again, I just don't recall it. Now most units have a sound system as part of the package whenever you buy it. Awnings, most of them had awnings, and most people, whenever they got to a state park, national park, or anywhere, they would put their awning out, put their rug out, put their Christmas lights out, and all their little hanging stuff around their awning. And then they would go on a trip to go get groceries and come back and find the awning and all that crap on the roof of their RV. Other changes that I can think of, maybe fewer windows. They do that because of the leaks. Most travel trailers used to have a front window. Now that's rare. They used to have a front and a rear window actually, and now you don't see hardly any of that. Most RVs don't have a front window, or travel trailers anyway. Now, motorhomes still do, but travel trailers mostly don't. Other changes as far as quality of build, I would imagine that's about the same or worse, because every RV dealer I've talked to anywhere is always full in the service department with a waiting list. Even at this little place in Burnett, Texas, they got a full deck of service related issues because of the quality of the build of the units that they're selling, and it's everywhere. It's just everywhere. I mean, that's just a RV situation, because even the products inside the RV, even though they're mostly warranted for a year, some of them don't even make a year. But other changes other than say quality of the build, I don't think that's. It may have gotten worse. I would say it's probably gotten worse. The quality of the inside materials is probably. I'm not going to say, because maybe this high-tech stuff is better. I'm not sure. But what else? As far as the frames, the axles, and all that, I can't render an opinion on that. What else? As far as the size, again, I don't think there's been much change in that either. Most RVs back in the 90s were around 24 footers, probably for an average, maybe 28 in that range. Now they've got them everywhere from, basically you're towing a bed down the highway to a triple axle fifth wheel 44 footer or whatever they happen to be. So, and back in the 90s, probably had the same. I just don't remember seeing many of them. The RVs for sure 25 years ago were heavier. How much heavier, I couldn't render an opinion on that. But somewhat heavier for sure. Casita was in business. I think they started their deal in the 80s, mid 80s or so. And I remember even back in the 90s, one of the things I thought was really neat whenever I saw them, Casita used to make a 13-foot trailer, and it had a window AC as an option. And I thought it was just neat because it was in the front window, or in the front, and it was fixed in, and I thought that was really neat. But when I got ready to buy me a 13-foot, or thought about it, Casita no longer made it, so it no longer makes it. They make a 16 and a 17-foot. But other changes, of course, there's more RV parks now than there were then. They're much more expensive, of course. There's just more people living in RVs now than there were then. I think. I don't have the statistics on that, but it appears so. There's probably more people bailing out of sticks and bricks or regular houses into RVs because of the taxes and the upkeep on a home, and they just don't want to fool with it. So they get them an RV and start the traveling lifestyle. As far as the RVing lifestyle, I don't know that that's changed much. Probably the same amount of state parks and national parks, maybe a few more. They're more crowded now. I've noticed that over the years, and that has a lot to do with people that can make a living over the internet while they're traveling in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and they don't have to go into the office and fight traffic both ways, and so they can telecommute while they're out enjoying the beautiful views in the west or wherever they choose to go. Other changes related to RVing, fuel prices as a percentage of income. Right now it's probably pretty close to what it was in the 90s. The price, of course, was lower, but everything else was lower too. Another thing you had to have then if you wanted to get any type of TV, and I was right on the cutting edge of that. I was one of the first to take it wasn't Dish. What's the other one? Let me think. Well, it wasn't Dish. It was the other one, whatever that is. And yeah, but I had it on a brick. Mounted on a brick, a big. It was about 4 inches, well, 3 inches thick, and probably 14 inches by 14-inch block, and had the satellite thing mounted on that rock or that brick, and I would set it out, and all you had to do was point it south, and what you would do, you'd get this little beeper thing going, because it had whenever you hit the signal, you would get a steady beep, beep. You got that? And so that was how you got television, and it wasn't all that expensive. I think it was like $30 a month. You got quite a few channels. Most of them I didn't watch, of course, but you got a few movie channels, and so it was okay. But sometimes you had a little difficulty hitting the satellite, because as you went north in the latitudes, you had to remember to bring the dish, aim it down, or you had to aim it lower, and sometimes I had an issue with finding that satellite. So we'll cut around here well, we'll go straight because I'll be out of the sun. If I turn left, I'll be headed in the sun, so we'll go the long way around, and I'll check the mail in Kingsland. I haven't got any mail in a while. But we hadn't done a driving video in a while, and my intention was to go by the RV place and burn it and do some units, but nobody there. So I already said that. What time is it? It's 9:40 right now. They open at 10. Let me think. Are there any other things that I notice about RVing? Actually, I think for me, of course, I've moved right along. I've had probably 5, 6, 7 different RVs. I can't remember all of them. The first one I think I had was called an Aljo, and it had 2 entry doors, a travel trailer. I'd probably a 26-footer, weighed a ton. Yeah, it was crap. It was all the wood was rotted on it, and it was a mess. But I got it cheap, boy. I got it cheap. That was my first experience. But for me, it's actually gotten better and better through the years for a number of reasons. One, I've gotten used to the lifestyle totally. Doesn't bother me at all. I've taken all the verbal abuse, the old trailer trash stuff and all the stuff that's thrown at you. Pretty soon you just become bulletproof to that. But now nobody talks about that much, because it's kind of a non-issue now. A lot of people, it's not a question of people being poor living in RVs now. There's a lot of wealthy people that have chosen that lifestyle, and so it's kind of filtered that language out. But the quality of the RVs for me has stayed, as far as the travel trailers, the ones that I've had, like the Coachman, the Jayco, they're not very good quality at all. They're not, and of course they're inexpensive, and they're not designed to be lived in. But the Casita, really, I like it a lot, because it's a solid, basically a fiberglass ball, even though it's two pieces put together. There's a bottom piece and a top piece that are fitted together and sealed, and that works really well for me. I like it. This is the best RV I've had. In fact, I'll do a first anniversary video about the Casita here in a few weeks. Also, this next weekend, I'm going to go to an RV show in Round Rock, Texas, and I'll do some RVs there. Probably do several, and then I'll just post them one at a time, one per day for several days, like I did last year. But with that in mind, guys, I think I'll end this driving video. This is, we're coming into Buchanan Dam, a little unincorporated community on Lake Buchanan on Highway 29 between Burnett and Llano, Texas. But it's a nice day. It's going to be warm here. We've got about another 10 days or less, approximately 10 days of pretty warm weather, and then it drops into the upper 80s and upper 60s, which is fairly nice, and then it'll gradually move down from there through the fall and winter. But anyway, guys, from this area of Texas, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy anything you want, anytime. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of all of my videos. Why? Because I get a small commission and it doesn't cost you 1 penny. What else? Drink plenty. Some of you are using the link, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. It's good for you. It'll help you avoid gout, kidney stones, and it'll also help you lose weight because you'll be full of water and you won't want to eat so much. And even I need to lose a little weight, I can tell you that. I have developed some bad habits. But anyway, what else? Stretch, or take deep breaths. Breathe in deep, hold it for a few seconds, then breathe out slowly several times a day, because that relieves stress, and relieving stress lowers your blood pressure, and that's very good for you. What else? Stretch, walk, exercise your body once or twice a day. You'll never regret that. You may live healthier a little longer. What else? Stand guard at the door of your mind. Do not let negative Nancy or negative Ned get inside of your beautiful head. It's yours. So accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and enjoy your life one moment or one day at a time. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.